Through the miracle of editing, Dr. DeWitt will fix that. Good. Welcome to True Health Tuesdays. Tonight we're talking about skin health. Now, it's the largest organ in the body. I know. The guy's saying, no, that's not. No, it's covered in skin. So when you look at this, organs, okay, and it is. Tonight, this is too big of a talk for one. Okay, and I made the mistake. So what we're going to do, it's going to be like skin health for the average Joe. So we're going to cover a little bit about nutrition, diseases, health, and how to make sure that the skin is functioning appropriately. And now, that is not me because my family doesn't go bald, but that is exactly what I'm going to look like when I'm about 95. A little grumpier, but more distinguished. That's Hippocrates, by the way. Now, I like quoting myself. Okay. If you can't eat it, don't put it on your skin. Okay, now, and this is vitally true because when you're looking at this, I mean, if you look at toothpaste, it says don't swallow it. You know, that's insane. So we have to look at it. But we're going to look at the anatomy and physiology of it. The human animal is unique because we actually have a layer of fat right underneath the skin. Most animals, they have it around the organ systems. So this means the quality of fat that you use. Now let's say you had, say, a population that was exposed to extremely toxic hormone-laden fats, okay, or genetically modified omega-6 oils, okay, so extremely toxic fats would be stored underneath the skin. This is why we're seeing, since the sunlight pierces the skin, it'll have a negative reaction with fats. And so the quality of your food is definitely going to equate to the quality of the skin. But also when you look at this, the sensories on the skin and the nervous system, and that's what we're going to talk about next week. But when you look at it, how exact are the nerves placed on your skin? They're everywhere. In fact, if you were to remove the skin, I'd still be able to recognize you. I mean, it's that because there's not a spot you can touch on your body that you can't feel. So the skin is not only rich with oils and sebaceous glands to keep it supple and healthy, it's also is excretory, or it has a way to get rid of stuff. Now, we used to think its main goal and what it does, its function, is to protect and detoxify the body. But we also found out that it's permeable. And this is dangerous. So this means, and it was kind of neat because the drug industry just found out about this a few years ago. So now they have skin patches, Nicoderm patches. Has anyone ever seen the movie Thank You for Smoking? I totally recommend it. Okay. It has nothing to do that's esoteric. You're not going to be spiritually uplifted, but it's just flat out fun. Okay. They take a tobacco lobbyist, okay, the second most evil person on the planet, and they put nicotine patches on his skin all over the place, and he almost dies from nicotine poisoning. But don't worry, he didn't die because, thank goodness, he was a chronic smoker, so he developed a tolerance to the nicotine. So skin is permeable. So that means that if we can deliver drugs through there, that means any skin cream or any lotions that we put on there is actually can get into the body. Now, it produces and stores vitamin D. We're going to learn tonight that vitamin D is the #1 ingredient that can protect you from cancer. In fact, when you look at the planet, there's an area that has virtually no cancer, and it's closer to the equator. And the further away from the equator you go, the higher certain endocrine-based cancers are. And it's super rich in receptors. This means that the more stimulus, if you want healthy brain function, and this goes on how the brain is. If you don't get a lot of stimulus, like let's say you're locked in a wheelchair, let's say your sedentary lifestyle, is dementia and Alzheimer's common in people with sedentary lifestyles? Yes or yes? Yes. Okay, good. I know. I'm not going to give you a choice on that one. So when you look at this, that means any type of sensory input we can get to the brain helps the brain function. Does that make sense? And now what's neat about this is the skin. There's different sensations. In fact, we use different devices to tell What areas of the spinal cord or brain aren't functioning correctly? I know, this is kind of cool. See, I'll do this when I'm testing someone with severe neurologic damage, and a lot of people don't realize it. But pressure is the Pacinian corpuscles. Light touch, that's carried on the anterior spinal thalamus tract, or the front part of the spinal cord. And we're talking pain and temperature. So if I put something cold or cause pain, that's carried on the side, or the side of the spinal cord, or the lateral spinal thalamus tract. Vibration, okay, is one of the first senses lost in diabetes or a lot of neurotoxicities. So when we look at this, the kids think I'm just playing. I go, honey, do you feel this? Do you feel that? But what we're doing is the sensory input on the skin is so vital for brain function that you can actually identify the location of a lesion. So you can help the person faster. And so the rich in receptors is fantastic. Now, when we look at the bacteria, I've got trillions of bacteria, viruses, and fungus on my skin. No wonder people don't want to hang out with me. No, you do too. Okay, so what happened? But that's healthy and it's normal. So we've got this germophobic, situation where people forget. In the old days in Europe, they would say 1 bath when you're born, 1 bath when you're dead. Okay, you get a nice layer of dirt that protects you. Okay, that's a little extreme. Okay, but when we're talking about this, we need healthy bacteria and normal flora on the skin. Now, the organs of elimination, this is super important, particularly when you're looking at somebody's skin. We've got the bowels, of course, we've got kidneys, we've got lungs, and the skin is like a backup system. Okay, it's a secondary backup system. So when we start seeing, acne or discolorations or bruising or skin tags, which are little elevations of skin that typically are in areas that are irritated. So when we look at the skin, what do you think happens when a teenager comes in here and they have acne? I guarantee you it's not a skin problem. Okay, and any doctor that treats acne as a skin problem is absolutely ignorant of the function of the rest of the body. So they say, oh, it's sweet, it's this, it's that. No, it's a toxifying of the body. It means the bowels aren't working right. And in this day and age, with the genetically modified foods, with the vaccinations, with the overuse of antibiotics, and you're going to find out now, with the antibacterial soaps, with the antibacterial chemicals inside of toothpaste, okay, these kids' bowels are not working right. Okay, they're actually toxic and they're destroying the normal flora. Because remember, we've got trillions of bacteria and viruses on our skin. If we use things that kill bacteria, guess what? Only the strong will survive. So we're going to develop super bacteria on our skin. So, and the kidney function, if you're not drinking in healthy amounts of water, you're not going to have healthy skin function. Or if you're drinking toxic materials, and lung function. If there's not a lot of aerobic activity or breathing. Does anybody remember when you were a teenager and you'd go to the ocean and your skin would clear up? Yeah. It was the sun that did it, not the ocean. Okay, now, skin products, I don't know if you knew this. They're completely unregulated by the FDA because they're not a food and they're not a drug. So you can put cancer-causing products in there. Nothing needs to be tested. Okay, and you start looking at this. This is sunscreen, antiperspirants, acne cream. And you look at this, and they can legally put carcinogenic or cancer-causing agents in a lot of these products. It's makeups. Now, antibacterial soaps. With the germophobic population, it's a huge industry because if you can inspire fear, you can get people that are obsessed about washing everything. The problem is not all antibiotics work against all bacteria. So we're developing superbugs, and then we're developing flesh-eating viruses. And 16 billion a year industry. It turns out that the toxic components in these antibacterial soaps are deadly. Sodium lauryl sulfate, again, a carcinogen. And this is what you're going to see on all the soaps, cleansers, shampoos, toluene. We're talking kidney damage, liver damage. And again, oh wait, kidney damage. Isn't that one of those filtered organs? The organ filters? So if you damage the kidneys, where's it going to show up? Skin. I know. Isn't that interesting? Dioxane, linked to breast and prostate cancer, acrylamide. When we look at this, the antibacterial soaps, the American Medical Association even says there's no evidence that they're good. And these guys are not the sharpest tack in the bunch, okay? When we look at using antibacterial soaps may disrupt hormones, and this is out of the Journal of Environmental Science and Technology. But I want you to look at some of those, and this is the triclosan. The triclosan is the antibacterial, or the typical the antibiotic that's mixed in with these products. Can you imagine Colgate toothpaste, okay, with an antibacterial in it? Okay, that causes cancer, that creates a competitive environment in the mouth that you're swallowing, that's going to also create a competitive environment in the gut. When you look at this, it's found in human breast milk. It's an endocrine disruptor. That's where the prostate and the breast cancer come from. It changes thyroid hormones. So how many people with a low functioning or abnormal functioning thyroid? And then you start looking at this, think, wait a second, that's Old Spice underarm deodorant. I mean, it's in a lot of different products. And they don't work in preventing disease. Now, this is Annals of Internal Medicine. When you look at this, wait a second, so they don't work they're toxic, they don't protect you, they don't protect diseases, but it's marketed for fear, and they have a toxic cancer-causing component inside of it. Okay, now your skin's permeable, so this stuff is being absorbed inside of the body. So here's some other additives that you don't want in anything. So when you look at this, remember, if you can't eat it, you don't want it on your skin. So mineral oil, paraffin, petroleum, parabens. When we look at these things, phenylcarbonic acid, propylene glycol. What's interesting, when you look at vitamin A, and you'll see vitamin A enriched, okay, sunscreen, vitamin A enriched, it's not real vitamin A. Okay, what it is, it's kind of like a little bit, it's a synthetic alternative of vitamin A. However, this synthetic alternative, if it's exposed to sunlight, can cause skin cancer. So you're seeing cancer-causing agents in things that parents are putting on their kids. So when we look at the sunlight is actually good for you. I know we've made it through, 40 million years in this human form, roughly, exposed to the sun with very low skin cancer rates. And over in the last 30, 40 years where that sunscreens have been marketed, we're seeing a massive rise in cancer and skin cancer rates. And that's because the sunlight has a protective effect. This was a brilliant article out of the Journal of the British Medical Journal. And when you look at it, you go, wait a second, most sunscreens block the UVB and they allow the UVA to get inside. And the UVA causes cancer and the UVB has protective effects. And I know, it's like, wait a second, that's illogical. And they're even saying that if you get sunlight exposure, it's good for you. This was, British Medical Journal, so they say the people in the United Kingdom, they're higher away from the equator, so they have greater skin cancer risk because they don't get enough vitamin D. Heck, even here in Huntington Beach, we got to use vitamin D from October to March because we don't get enough. So now these are the ingredients. Now I just picked the two top ones, and the reason is I went to Catalina snorkeling this weekend, okay? And I'm on there and I see, loving, adoring parents, and what do they have in their hand when they got the little kid there? Sunblock, spray sunblock. So the kid's got his eyes closed like this and the mom's squirting them all over, and I'm going, oh my God, he's inhaling this. It's getting on his skin. The skin's being permeable. No, I didn't go up and knock it out of her hand and say, what are you doing? And it still bugs me. It's still, because, you got to ask permission because she's doing it out of love. But this stuff is poison. Now, these are all the ingredients that are extremely toxic in sunblock, and both banana boat and Coppertone. And I'm not, just against those. It's all the toxic ingredients that aren't good for you. And they're not needed. They're not needed. There's a way to protect yourself from from sun or from too much sun exposure. We've been doing it for years. Now, here's some safe sunscreen. Now, some people will say titanium dioxide and zinc oxide are not safe. Kind of yes and kind of no. Now, they're basically from clay and from beach sand deposits. So in that form, they're safe. We've been using it for years. In fact, you know, when you're taught survival, you put mud on your face, okay, a big disgrace, kicking your can all over. No, wait, I'm sorry. Reverting back to my Queen days. Okay, so no, but you know, the zinc oxide, you put it on your skin and it reflects it, except, you know, like the surfers with the white noses. Yeah, it's not real attractive. So what they came up with is they made it in nanoparticles. This is when you see the waterproof sunblock. It's so small that it pierces the skin. Oh, wait a second. What's the anatomy of the skin like? Remember, there's that fat layer underneath? So we're getting nanoparticles actually piercing the skin, getting into the bloodstream, okay, getting into that fat area that causes a negative response to the body. Okay, does that make sense? I know. And so when you look at this, the zinc oxide's been used for centuries, or, well, as long as we can remember. It's actually been in skincare products for over 75 years. But the nanoparticles are dangerous. This is where the waterproof stuff comes in. So when we look at it, it penetrates cell walls. It's toxic to human cell and tissue cultures, increase oxidative stress. It mutates DNA, cell death. I mean, it's not good stuff. You don't want to put it on a kid. Now, SPF. That's sun protection factor. And what it is the higher the sun protection factor, the longer you're supposed to be able to have in between coats and be able to stay out longer. The problem with that, okay, it's not measuring how effective it is at protecting you. When we look at this, most of them, there's two basic types of sun rays. I mean, there's a bunch of sun rays coming at us, but the two ones that they're mainly concerned with is UVB and UVA. UVB is what most everything blocks. UVA is what causes skin cancer. However, the UVB protects you from skin cancer. So it's vital. And now we're even seeing, oh yeah, Complete blocks both UVA and UVB, you know, and it's waterproof. What does waterproof mean? Nanoparticles. Okay, what does that mean? It causes cancer. Okay, it's dangerous. It's deadly. So when you look at this, it just doesn't make any sense that you would put something that causes skin cancer and melanoma in something designed to protect it. Now, here's some extremely wonderful ingredients that you can use that have an appropriate SPF factor that's good for you. Remember, the skin's permeable. How would you like a medium-chain fatty acid inside of your skin? Yeah, coconut oil. Coconut oil will help brain function. It's going to help with energy level. It's going to help with hormone production. And it's got an SPF factor of about 6. Okay, when you look at this, and there's a really brilliant site. I love this one, wellnessmama.com. They've got a couple of different mixtures where you can make your own sunblock. But honestly, I just go by Costco. I get the big old tub of organic, you know, coconut oil, and that's it. You know, you slather it on, you get out in the sun. And I mean, we're out there all day long. You know, you might have a hat or something. But when you look at it, zinc oxide, but the non-nanoparticle. So you have to, and when you're making any type of sunblock, if you're mixing zinc oxide and it comes in a very fine powder, don't breathe it in. It's not good for you. Okay, so you have to wear a mask and mix it, you know, very, very, you know, carefully. But it's phenomenal. It's a lot safer than spraying, you know, Coppertone or Banana Boat or something all over your face. That doesn't make any sense at all. Now, sweating. Yes. Anybody know the movie this one's from?
Yeah. Airplane.
Airplane. Yeah, baby. Okay. Sweating is good for you. Okay? Wait, there's a lot of women here. Women don't sweat, they glisten or glow. Okay? Okay. The men sweat. Okay. Okay. So if you're glowing like this guy, okay, it's fantastic because sweat actually has natural antibacterial properties. Okay, it's good for you. It cleans your pores. I mean, it helps eliminate the toxins and improves circulation. I mean, if you can work every day up to the area where you're perspiring, your immune system and body is a heck of a lot healthier. The tough part is if you're doing antiperspirants. Like, you see those commercials, dry is better. Oh my gosh! They're stopping their body. They're clogging the pores. And when you start looking at where cancers and things occur, that's, one of the major things, or one of the major factors is the toxic antiperspirants with the cancer-causing. Wait, they put it under here, right? Don't they? Where do most lumps occur? Oh. So you're putting a cancer-causing agent underneath the armpit in the area that your body is trying to detox, and you're clogging the pores, and this is where most of the breast lumps and tumors and, okay, just checking. Okay, now, low stomach acid. Now, when I'm telling a patient about this, and this is a study done in 1945, and it was brilliant. Why it's not recognized today is because there's a lot of money being made by the little purple pill for 24 hours of relief. Okay? Indigestion does not come from too much stomach acid. Indigestion does not come from too much stomach acid. When you're looking in the literature, there's not really any data on high stomach acid that I could find. There is a muscle on the top of the stomach that closes off to lock in the acid of the stomach so the stomach can slosh back and forth. What happens is, that's called the lower esophageal sphincter. If that's loose, it allows the stomach acid to come up. And that lower esophageal sphincter can be loosed from medications. Pinched nerves can cause it to not react because there's sensors in the top of the stomach. But I couldn't find any cases of too much stomach acid. It just doesn't exist. So indigestion doesn't come from that. What is interesting is this study went and looked at skin issues. Because what happens to digestion? What you do is you get digestion and you're secreting this acid in order to break the proteins to amino acids and, finish the digestion of the carbohydrates and, begin the digestion of the fats. So now the skin is brand new every 28 days. So if you're losing the collagen and different aspects of it, you're going to start to see it on the skin. Okay, does that make sense? So digestive anomalies are going to show up. And plus, when you also look, next to the stomach is the duodenum. That's where calcium, iron, magnesium are all absorbed. This is why those antacids, you end up magnesium deficient, calcium deficient, iron deficient. Wait, I'm sorry, let me word that a little bit different. Magnesium deficiency is actually heart problems, cardiac arrhythmias and death. Calcium deficiency is brain problems and osteoporosis. Iron deficiency is depression and low energy. And that little purple pill would give you 24 hours of relief. Okay, but now look at this. Vitiligo, that's a discoloration of the skin. We're talking 90% of the patients had low stomach acid. Alopecia or loss of hair, lupus even. That's an autoimmune disorder. So does that mean that these diseases are coming because the body can't break those proteins and it's weakening the immune system? I know. Okay, urticaria, eczema, acne, rosacea. Does that mean that these kids aren't getting appropriate amounts of acid, that they're eating processed foods that their body can't recognize? Does that mean that just increasing the acid with healthy nutrients, we can actually reverse these conditions, like Michael Jackson? I mean, vitiligo. Okay, like acne. Say it.
Wow.
Oh, here. This one is one of the supplements I absolutely love. Bentane hydrochloric acid. And you don't, it comes in little capsules as supplements. You don't want to take it all the time. What you want to do is fix the problem first. See, all these people that have alopecia, vitiligo, urticaria, eczema, acne, rosacea, lupus, that have it, that's one of the causes is low acid. It means that there's a problem with the stomach. So you don't just take a supplement just for taking it. You got to find out what the source of the problem is first. So once you fix the nerve supply to the stomach, get the person out of whatever nerve condition they had, like sympathetic dominance, whatever the condition is, while you're fixing it, get them on the bentane. That'll increase the acid, and then you'll notice the skin actually clears up. So it's a brilliant. Now here, gamma linoleic acid, absolutely brilliant. This one is one of the healthiest fatty acids for skin. Now it's an American Journal of Clinical Nutrition, and you'll find it in spirulina. That's why we recommend it. And spirulina, and you'll notice in the handout, it's part of the radiation handout because it also talks about regenerating and breaking down and detoxing. Okay, and plus we're being exposed to a lot of radiation in North America. We're only going to hit, because remember, this is the average Joe's guide to skin health. Okay, we're not going to go over the deep anatomy and all the different nutrients. We're just going to hit the major ones. Okay, and these are actual pictures of some of the deficiencies that occur. So we're only going to look at vitamin A, vitamin C, zinc, essential fatty acids, B vitamin deficiencies. The dark circles under the eyes are interesting. If you ever see a kid or an adult with dark circles around the eyes, and if they crave chocolate, okay, they're typically mineral deficient. Now wait a second, minerals deficient. Where is that calcium, iron, magnesium absorbed? Next to the stomach? Yeah, in the duodenum. So what we're starting to think about is, if those dark circles, could they have a digestive issue first? Yes or yes? Yeah, so now if they have digestive issues, what was that from? Was it from maybe vaccinations causing a leaky gut or ear infections as a kid, which they took antibiotics and destroyed their normal gut flora? I'm telling you, this is what happens when we get kid patients in, and I'll see the dark circles, and I'll say, well, did they have ear infections or breathing problems? You know, they'll look at me like I'm a witch doctor. No, I'm this doctor. Okay, so you know, but you can see it. But I mean, if you see it in your grandkids or your spouse or your relatives, you got to think that there's a not healthy digestive process going on. So zinc is one of the greatest. This is, if you see little white dots on your nails, that's zinc deficiency typically. But zinc is one of the most important aspects for skin health, and it's also one of the most common deficiencies around the world. I mean, you can get it in grass-fed organic organ meats, and then, you know, oysters, lamb, but also shiitake mushrooms, sesame seeds, pumpkin seeds, whole grains, spinach, asparagus. There's a lot of different sources of zinc, okay, that are plant-based. If you're going to get it from an animal, make sure it's a healthy animal. And deficiencies. So how many people with chronic athlete's foot are actually zinc deficient? I know, isn't that interesting? You know, you didn't know you were going to learn stuff tonight, did you? You know, canker sores, you know, when you start looking at this, facial rashes, maybe that's it. Vitamin A, now this is hugely important, hugely important. This is one of the most common deficiencies in poor developing countries like America. You know, I mean, huge. Because if you have a society that's made off of, like, fast foods, extreme vitamin deficiencies, this is where you're going to get discolorations in eyes or weakness of the eyes. Organic dairy, wild sardines, sweet potatoes, dark green leafy vegetables, bell peppers, asparagus, tomatoes. This is if you have trouble at night. Okay, this is if you have redness in the eyes or dryness in the eyes consistently. It also birth problems, measles. I mean, instead of vaccinating for measles, do you realize that if you catch measles in an area that has endemic malaria, that you're protected from that malaria to a certain extent? I mean, you might get it, but you have a massive protection. So does that mean instead of vaccinating these kids in this high-risk malaria area, that we should go in there with maybe some vitamin A supplements? Yeah, or maybe go in there with, show them how to grow sweet potatoes, or, you know, yeah, it just makes more sense. B vitamins. B vitamins are the most important nutrient ever. Now, when you say which one, there's the 17 that I know of, there's probably more. Okay, which one's important? All of them. All of them. Okay, when we're talking, niacin deficiency is one of the most important in skin health and mental disorders. When we're looking at, excuse me, B6, okay, that one's vital for sun protection. Okay, but it's everyone's vital. When you realize that you're getting cancer-causing agents, B17, okay, I mean, synthesized down, it's Laetrile. But this is absolutely incredible. Depression, hair loss, skin rash, fluid retention in the legs. How many people have fluid retention in the legs and they're B vitamin deficient? What does the medical world give them? A diuretic. Diuretic causes the kidneys to work too hard. What does that do? It causes you to lose minerals. What does that, instead of looking at the body as got deficiency or toxicity, and it's adapting to those conditions. So organic dairy and cheese, brewer's yeast is one of the most powerful vegetarian options. Okay, oysters, organ meats. Vitamin C, again, this one is vital. Linus Pauling was smart, okay, but you've got to look at this. Ascorbic acid is not vitamin C. You need a complete vitamin C of bioflavonoids, because the doctors will say, oh, you can't take too much of that, you'll get diarrhea. Okay, no, that's only if you take ascorbic acid. If you take the complete vitamin C with the bioflavonoids, it's like eating too many oranges. You're not going to OD on them. You're going to be okay. Back away from that bag of oranges. Okay, so when you look at it, bell peppers, okay, or tomatoes, kiwi, dark green leafy vegetables, you're going to see dark green leafy vegetables in just about every one of these. Okay, so does that mean we should all have dark green leafy vegetables?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really good for you. Okay, and look at this. Splitting a hair, bleeding of the gums, dry skin, nosebleeds, poor wound healing. How many times do I get patients in here that say, yeah, he gets nosebleeds all the time? Well, we got to fix the nerve supply up there. Did they have ear infections? Every kid with nosebleeds, do you think they have dark circles around their eyes? Just about. Okay. And so these are healthy soaps that you can use. Now, what's interesting, I want you to look at the fat that they're made from. You can just utilize this. I mean, when back in the 70s, when we were backpacking, 70s and 80s, you'd use sand to wash your dishes and then rinse it in the stream. Coconut oil, great base for soap. Okay, olive oil, glycerin. Dr. Bonner's Magic Soap, the Pure Castle soaps, I love those. They're made with just like hemp seed oil and palm oil and coconut oil and essential oils. I mean, it's just normal stuff. You're not going to get sick with it. Arm & Hammer washing sodas. Now these are just baking sodas, and do you remember the old commercials, 20 Meal Team Borax, or am I the only one that's old enough? Okay, good. You would like them. It was really cool commercials. I know you don't remember them, okay, but they had like real 20 mules, okay, out there, and they go, yeah, okay, and you can see it down in the Death Valley where they have the borax mines. Borax is still a fantastic solvent, it's a great soap. And it's non-toxic. It's good for you. Dip it in the laundry. So this is what your body needs for healthy skin. You got to have healthy nerve supply. Since we got those sensory nerves coming up, we need healthy sensory input coming down. And you'll see skin disorders like shingles. They go along a single specific nerve root. That's why I think I should do another talk on skin diseases. Okay, instead of just overall skin health. That's why this is the, average Joe's guide to skin. Okay, because when we look at it, you need healthy nerve supply to the gut to develop to digest the minerals and nutrients needed to regenerate the skin. So you absolutely need healthy nerve supply. You need regular exercise. What are you supposed to do during exercise? Sweat. I know. Did you like that? Okay. I'm trying to really help as much as I can. Okay, because it detoxes your body. So exercise to sweat every day. Proper nutrition. Obviously, the vitamin A, the zinc, okay, the B complex vitamins, the vitamin C. I mean, we're just talking the basic ones. But if you have those, we could reverse a lot of the diseases on the planet. Sufficient rest, and that's when your body rebuilds itself. If you see somebody that has a perfect diet, they exercise regularly, and they're absolutely destroyed with disease, guess what? They're not sleeping. And you can ask them, no, I watch the TV, I need it on to fall asleep. No, deep sleep every night is without the TV on. It's going to bed at 10 o'clock. It's making sure you're in REM state of sleep between 11 and 1. I mean, it's a whole art. It's absolutely essential. And then prayer and meditation. If you have a stressed, unstable mind, you're not going to have healthy digestion, healthy production of nutrients. Your body is more energy than matter. And this thing here creates that appropriate vibration. I mean, if you're identifying with a being, I mean, let's just say for the heck of it that everybody here was made, think of this, in the image and likeness of the creator of the universe. Would you like take cool care of yourself? It's like actually owning a Ferrari. I mean, I'd go out and I'd polish it. You know, right now I've got a biodiesel burning VW. Okay, because I go out there and I polish it. So identify with this. I mean, the prayer and meditation is vital. And this is what you need for healthy skin health. And pay attention to the skin because it's the window to your physiology. It really is. It's just absolutely fantastic. Now, all of these handouts and PowerPoints are available on the website. For patients, they're available as long as you're my patient. But for everybody on the planet, they're 7 days for free. So please, if you're on YouTube, get the PowerPoints. And next week, we're going to talk about the nervous system. Okay, not just the nervous system, but everything. So we're also going to be taking in the sensory aspect of it from the skin, the joints, everything. This is going to be how your brain regenerates and how you take care of yourself. So thank you very much.